This installment recalls extra perks for my new novel, The Very Fine Light, that the holidays may have obscured. And also in this podcast is the apparition known as Our Lady of Laus. Part of this installment is intended to help recall for your pleasure extra offerings about my novel that are freely available for you when you go to my website, nicosteves.com. The holiday swirl and transition to the new year is bringing about changes required for ongoing marketing of the book. And although the story takes place in the late fall and early winter, the book's advertising has to be refocused for the new year in order to make it appealing beyond the previous holiday-centric marketing approach. Let me know what you'd like to see and hear from the book. And of course, don't forget to get on my mailing list while you visit the nicosteves.com website. Be assured I am going to be bringing you readers some of the chapters that were edited out, stories that went more in depth about each character that for various reasons did not get included in the current book. These will be for you readers to enjoy beyond the events in the book. Of course, all these things will be offered first on my website, nicosteves.com. And remember, for your listening pleasure, there is something else. I'm happy to report that now my podcasts, plus video readings from my new book, The Very Fine Light, can be found on the new Nico Steves YouTube channel. And now, on to the second part of this week's podcast. Now, within this story of Our Lady of Laus is a glimpse of how the Virgin Mary works. Warmth is her way. Our Lady of Laus. The apparitions of Our Lady of Laus between 1664 and 1718 in Saint Antien-les-Laus, France, are between her and a young girl, Benoite Rencurel, who's a young shepherdess. Benoite's experiences first gained recognition by her local diocese of the Roman Catholic Church on September 18, 1665. Worthy of note, this is the first Marian apparition to be approved in the 21st century by the Roman Catholic Church itself on May 5, 2008. Over 120,000 people come to visit this apparition site each year. In May of 1664, Benoite, then 17, is praying the rosary, which is her favorite devotion, while watching her flock. All of a sudden, a majestic-looking old man appears, clothed in the vestments of a bishop of the ancient church. He came up to her and said, "My daughter, what are you doing here?" "I'm watching my sheep, praying to God, and looking for water to drink." "I'll get some for you," replied the old man. And he went to the edge of a well that Benoite had not noticed. "You're so beautiful," she said. "Are you an angel or Jesus?" "I am Maurice, to whom the nearby chapel," which was then in ruins, "is dedicated." "My daughter, do not come back to this place. It is part of a different territory, and the guards would take your flock if they found it here. Go to the valley above Saint Antien, which is where you will see the Mother of God." "But, sir, she is in heaven. How can I see her here?" "Yes," Maurice replies, then says, "She is in heaven, and on earth when she wants to be." The next morning, Benoite shepherded her flock to the indicated spot, the Vallon de Fleurs, or Valley of Kilns, so called because the hill above this valley contained gypsum, which the village inhabitants extracted and fired to make plaster for their buildings. Benoite had just located the little grotto when she saw a lady of incomparable beauty holding a beautiful child by the hand. The sight ravished her. Despite St. Maurice's prediction, the shepherdess could not imagine that she could be in the presence of the Mother of God. Thinking her to be a mere mortal, Benoite asked, "Lovely lady, what are you doing here? Did you come to buy some plaster?" Then, without waiting for her to answer, blurted out, "Would you be so kind as to give us this child? He would delight us all." The Madonna smiled without giving an answer. Charmed and won over, Benoite admired the beautiful lady. At mealtime, she took a piece of bread and said, "Would you like to eat with me? I've got some good bread. We can dip it in the spring." When late afternoon came, the Madonna took the little child and went back into the rock grotto and disappeared. The apparitions occurred for over the next 4 months. During that time, the girl's expressions changed, and she would share her joy with everyone she knew. Seeing the change in her, they began to wonder, could it actually be the Madonna she saw? Yet the girl would never ask the Madonna her name. After several months, without saying a word, the Madonna began to speak to her in order to teach. Putting herself on the same wavelength as the unschooled girl, the Madonna offered a relaxed relationship with the young girl. One day, the Madonna invited Benoite to rest by her side. And though Benoite was quite immature, the Madonna, with great patience, brought Benoite along. Gradually, she set Benoite off to the work she would eventually do for the rest of her life. Benoite earned a reputation for being able to tell someone's problems and provide insights that would stun them. Benoite's gift was the heavy task of getting people to bare their souls, not so much to her, but to themselves. She would disclose their sad condition to them. When needed, she would remind them of their forgotten or hidden sins and urge them to clean themselves of the sins. One conversion, that of Benoite's boss, a woman who possessed no interest in religion at all, but wanted to uncover the truth about the rumored apparitions. One day before sunrise, she snuck into the grotto before Benoite got there. Benoite arrived, and a few minutes later she saw the Madonna. "Your mistress is over there, hidden behind the rock," said the Madonna. "Tell her not to curse with the name of Jesus, because if she keeps it up, there will be no paradise for her. Her conscience is in a very bad state. She should do penance." The employer came out from her hiding place quite shaken, and promised to mend her ways from that moment on. For the rest of her life, Benoite helped spread the love of God for the people through the intercessions of his mother. Even today, the pilgrims still come, seeking inspiration and reconciliation at this apparition site. Well, this is Nico Steves. I hope you enjoyed this installment. My book can be found using the title, The Very Fine Light, on Amazon.com. Please feel free to contact me at nicosteves.com. That's Nikos Steves, Steves.com. If you like this episode, and for more, share them with friends. Well, this is Nico Steves. Thank you. See you next time.